Okay, so I have lost the stepladder to the builder for now, so I am perching on the stool. Hopefully you can see everything okay. So we have 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 of Parasite. We do actually have 1 and 2. It's just at the bottom down there. If you saw in the previous video, I was like, we'll scoop Parasite into the next one because it jumps shelves. So I am 1 volume off being... Oh my god, there's a cat on my feet again! You know. Okay, so I am 1 volume off being complete, and spoiler, I have picked it up, I picked it up like 2 days ago, so I am now complete, which means I will start trying to read this. I picked up most of the volumes from Blackwell's for about £5.50, or secondhand also for about £5, which is I think about half price from retail. I have seen the colour hardback versions. It would be really neat if they spell out Parasite. I'm not interested in those. I really like these. They're so colourful, and I love the colour of volume 5. It's such a lovely blue. I can't stretch very well. Next we have Passionate Two-Face 1 and 2, and these were gifted to me by a friend. Don't know much about them. I haven't started reading them yet. Next we have Peach Boy Riverside 1-7, and that was up to date until recently. I think 8 is out. Most of these I've actually gotten for $4.99 from Blackwell's because they keep discounting them. Similar to Don't Toy With Me with Nagatoro. I don't know why. I haven't started reading them yet though, unfortunately. I've been a bit put off by the spine. I don't think they're very pretty. Next we have Peach Fuzz Volume 1, if you can just about see that. This was kind of a regret buy. I don't think it finished printing, I'm not entirely clear. I also think it's a Western manga. I do wish I hadn't picked this up, it was like £1. Never mind. Next we have Penguin Gentleman, and this is a one-shot. Am I able to reach it to show you a bit of it? Bring it down to my height. So this is a one-shot. It is a hardcover, so it's a bit more pricey. Basically, a group of guys run this cocktail bar, but all of them are actually penguins. So this is the same guy. This guy is this penguin, and there's a whole bunch of them that work in this. Oh no, I lost my place. A whole bunch of them work in this cocktail bar. Is it full colour? I don't think it's full colour. No, it's not full colour. But yeah, so all the different guys that work there are different types of penguin, and you learn a whole bunch about penguins. It's really interesting if you want to learn about penguins. I assume it's all to do with like penguin suits and stuff. But yeah, so it's kind of like anthropomorphic's not the right alternate human form. Don't know. That's literally the premise of it. It's quite neat. I would, if you're interested in penguins, definitely try it. Next we have Penguin and House volumes 1 to 3, and that is up to date. Fortunately, there are only 3 volumes out in Japan, so probably up to date for a while. This gives me like vaguely similar vibes to Haven't You Heard of Sakamoto, except the penguin is like Sakamoto. The penguin is just amazing, and he lives with this guy, and I absolutely love it. My partner read it and hated it because the guy doesn't treat the penguin very well, and that made him really sad. Well, not sad, annoyed. He got really annoyed at the penguin and didn't want to read anymore, which is a shame because I think it's great. It's a really silly, light-hearted comedy slice of life. It's such a shame we're now already caught up. Okay, next we have 1 to, is it 12 of Perfect World, and that is a complete series. This was an interesting read. I think I wasn't too keen. Like, some of it was fun, some of it wasn't. I think it was oh my god, my voice. Oh my gosh, I might not be able to do much more. It was a series where there was just no end to the drama. There was always something else that would cause drama. There wasn't really much calm to it. And then towards the end, like, 3 things happened so quick. Like, we had loads of volumes where just nothing happened, and then like 4 massive, large, life-changing events happen in 1 volume. I was like, whoa, hang on. It was like 2 pages between this thing and this thing. Really? I also don't really like how the faces were drawn in this. I liked everything else. I liked the outfits. I liked the hair, if that makes any sense. But like the faces, I didn't like. The mushy bits were mushy and nice. But personally, there was just always something was going wrong, or there was no communication. That also irked me, especially since they're adults. I'd expect better communication between adults. I really like that there's a wheelchair on the spine though. It took me to like volume 6 to notice. I'm just gonna pull him down. So next we have Persephone Hades Torment. This is a one-shot. Now I technically think this is more of a graphic novel, but I bought it in the manga section at Forbidden Planet, and it is published by 7 Seas, if it will choose to focus. There we go. It's just a one-shot of Persephone going to Hades. It's plastic wrapped. There's a couple of smutty scenes. It's not that smutty though. It also took me about 5 minutes to read. There's a lot of pages and panels without any text, so wouldn't overly recommend. It's full colour though, if that interests you. Okay, I don't have too much to say about these, so I'll just leave them up there. So you have Persona 3 Volume 7 and Persona 4 Volume 4, 6, 10 and 11. I got all of these discounted on Blackwell's. They're Udon, so they're more pricey. I think I got them for about £6 each, and I'll just slowly accumulate the rest when they're on sale. And then we have Persona 5 by Fizz, and we have 1 to 7 here, and some little statues, and 8 and 9 here. I haven't read volume 9 yet because I got it just before I put everything away for this. It's been a bit weird to read as someone who has played Persona, and my partner is literally playing Persona while I'm filming this. Sometimes I do find it weird reading about a video game in manga format when I've played the video game. I think the Zelda manga does it quite well because it takes elements, but it's not an outright point-to-point recreation, whereas this definitely feels more like I'm just reading a manga version of the game as opposed to the game has inspired this. However, this does, I believe, include more royal elements, and I haven't played royal. I played just regular Persona, though the version my partner's playing is royal, but he's only on the 2nd palace and we're up to like the 4th palace, though at the speed he's going he'll probably overtake. It is still neat to read, the artwork's lovely, so I will keep reading. I think it's just finishing the 4th palace at the beginning of this volume. Next we have Persona 5 Mentor's Mission Volume 1, and I am behind. I think this is complete at 3 volumes. I don't actually know what this version is on, so both 3 and 4, as you can see up there, were printed by Udon Entertainment, and then 5 was printed by Viz, which did confuse me, but Udon still did put a Persona 5 out. I just don't know what the story is. So it says Mementos Mission, so it might just be about them going into Mementos. I don't know. It's only 3 volumes, so I really should try and grab 2 and 3 and read them. Next we have Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney 1 to 5. That is complete. I love this so much. This is one where, this is like, I feel like how you do a video game manga well. Oh, it's so dusty. Don't look, don't look. Yeah, this is how I feel like you should do a video game manga adaptation. So this is also really hard to find, unfortunately. I have had a couple of these volumes quite a few years, and then I managed to track the last one I needed down for not too bad a price secondhand. Basically, it's like you're reading a case in Phoenix Wright, except they're all brand new stories. At least I think they are. I've only played, I think, the first a couple of Phoenix Wrights. I think it works out at about 4 chapters per case, if I can find. Oh, I can't find it. I think it works out at about 4 chapters per case, and it does sort of they go to the scene, they look for clues, and then they go into the court, or even stay on site and do their whole like figurine mystery. They're more like detectives than like actual attorneys, I suppose. But yeah, so there's 4 chapters, so some of them overlap between the volumes, but I think they're all new stories, and I think they're great because it's like I'm playing a case, but it's all brand new, which is all I really want, to be fair. Really enjoy it. If you are able to read it, go for it, especially if you're a fan of the series. There are other manga, and I would absolutely love to collect those, but I believe they're as hard to track down as these are, so I'm assuming I won't be able to find those. Next we have Phantom of the Idol Volume 1. I am behind on this, though I believe I'm getting some for Christmas. So basically, there is this idol group consisting of 2 guys, including this one. He was headhunted because he's very pretty. This is the other guy. He's very keen and very enthusiastic and bubbly. He was headhunted for how he looks, but he doesn't have, like, the charisma. He's very, like, lazy. He wants to have the job, but he doesn't want to be the idol. He doesn't want the energy. And he ends up meeting the ghost of an idol who passed away. And she's like, well, if you let me... What's the word? She's like, if you let me possess you, and I can live out and actually have some idol fun, and you can come across as a fun idol and keep your job. And he's like, yeah, okay. And that's kind of been all that's happened so far. She wants him to put more effort in, is pretty much what we've gone up to. It's very fun. It's like, it's a josei as well. Not too many of those, unfortunately, in my collection. Not for lack of trying. I think I'd struggle to find some joseis Because my only limitation is English print and not too expensive to buy. And there just aren't that many, unfortunately. Even if you take away the not expensive to buy, I don't think there's too many joseis out there that I don't have their English print. Next we have Planets, Volume 1. This isn't a volume of mine, this is a volume of my partner's. Absolutely no idea if he's read it. I believe there is a second one, and I think he's forgotten he has it and he's forgotten that he's behind. Next we have Platinum End 1 to 14, and that is complete. I started reading Platinum End like volume 3 or 4. I've been reading it for ages, and then I think volumes like started to get really slow to come out, because I think it was like volume 12, volume 11 when lockdown started, and 14 didn't come out that long ago. So lots of spoilers for my thoughts on the series if you want to jump ahead and not hear them. I think it started okay. It was an interesting premise. I think the artwork is absolutely stunning. I mean, the angels just all look absolutely gorgeous. I thought the ending was awful. I thought it ruined the series, personally. Hey ho, I don't know what other people's opinions are. Every other person I've spoken to, though, has said that they also thought it was really bad. Though most of the people I've spoken to thought it was really bad from the get-go. And then it was just, well, of course it's going to be bad at the end. I think I started to struggle around this point because it kind of stopped becoming fighting and stuff and just turned into lots of philosophical discussions about what's our purpose and stuff like that and who deserves the power. And I really lost interest at that point because it just didn't stop. And there was so much repetition and everyone was terrible people. And very pretty spines, very pretty covers. I mean, actually, you know what? This final cover is also equally gorgeous with all the sparkle. What a shame about the content. This we have Plunder 1, 2, 4, 5, all bought secondhand for about £6 each. I haven't read it. I don't know much about it, but like, I've seen loads of people say good things. I've just been daunted by how big the volumes are. Also, I think, is it complete? I could be wrong. Also, I think there's like 8 volumes out, so I might like try and grab the rest. Do I binge it? I'm not very good at binging omnis. I don't know. Next we have Pluto 1 to 8, which I think is horrendously out of order. We're gonna fix that. Okay, not horrendously, just 1 and 2 at the end. So this is a Noah Sarah series, and it is complete. My partner has read it. This was one of his series. He really likes Pluto. It's because of Pluto he's decided to try and read more Urasawa. I will read it at some point, but he was really excited for this one. He really liked it. I like all the eyes on the spine, which sounds a bit weird, actually, saying it out loud. Okay, next we have Pokemon Adventures 1, 2, and then a lot of Pokemon Adventures. 1, 2, and then 3 to 29, and then at 29 they decided to go back to 1, though it is still Pokemon Adventures. They just... so I think is it 1 to 7 is like one set of games, and then these 2 are Heart Gold, and then a chunk of these are the next game, which I can never remember the order of the next games. Yeah, but basically they kind of go through the Pokemon games, and then at one point they decided to go back to 1, and this is the Diamond Pearl Platinum, which is 1 to 11. And then we've got Heart Gold, Soul Silver 1 and 2, which is also complete, I suppose. So yeah, this is technically complete at 29, and then it leads into this one, which is complete at 11, and then this one, which completes at 2, and then we have Pokemon Adventures Black and White Volume 1. So is that the correct Volume 1? Or is that the magazine? That feels really thin otherwise. Not sure. And then we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9. I am missing Volume 8 of this one, unfortunately, which is really hard to find. All of these have pretty much been library copies. And then we have Pokemon Adventures X and Y 1 to 3. I don't know if 4 is out. And that is up to date with the adventures. Oh my god, there is actually quite a lot of Pokemon Adventures. This is like the main ongoing Pokemon series. They do publish them they're called like magazines. So X and Y was originally published in these magazine format, which are really, really thin, and then they combine them into this version, which is, I can't, how do you pronounce it? Tambokan? fudged that horrifically. So I do believe Sun and Moon are also, they've moved on from X and Y and they've done like XY2. There is also, actually, there's Black and White 2, and I don't have any of those either. Oh my god, I think there's 4 of those. You know, I don't know. Everywhere I look seems to have conflicting numbers, so I just kind of, what's the highest number I can find and hope. But yeah, so they are like up to Sun and Moon, but they're printing the magazines of those, so I'll wait till they do this version again. But I think that is mostly up to date with English release, though 4 of this might be out, not sure. And then we have a bunch of other Pokemon, so Pokemon Journeys 1 and 2. Now I do think Volume 3 of this is out. This is just another Pokemon story. I think this one's complete at 4 volumes. There's loads of them. I mean, put all these. I believe all of these are based on movies, because I've seen a chunk of these, so I know a chunk of them are based on movies, like I Choose You, Pair of Us, U2 Strikes Back. This one, right, I'll read them from the beginning. So we have Arceus and the Jewel of Life, Hoopla and the Clash of Ages, Giratina and the Sky Warrior, Pokemon Ranger and the Temple of the Sea, Zyurem and the Sword of Justice, Volcanion and the Mechanical Marvel. I've seen that one, definitely. Oh, it says Pokemon the movie at the top, yeah, probably. Pokemon I Choose You, also Pokemon the movie. Look how chunky this is compared to this one, and I swear the movies were the same length. I saw both of them in the cinema. Power of Us, Mewtwo Strikes Back Revolution, Zoroark, Master of Illusions, and White, Victini, and Zekrom. This had been sorta, vaguely alphabetical in order, the movie ones, but they're absolutely not anymore. I think I've just shoved them on randomly at the moment. I should alphabetize these, or put them in order of release. Ooh, or I could do order of movie release. Ooh, I don't know how many I'm missing. I don't think every single one has had a manga adaptation. I don't think there's a Pokemon 2000, in English at least, or Pokemon Power of Entei, which are like my favourites. The very first one is like main favourite, of course. Oh my gosh, how sad is it that Ash is retiring? I mean, he's only 10 and he's retiring. Oh, yeah, he's been 10 for 20 years. Who cares? So that is all the Pokemon I have. And yeah, I'm still missing a whole lot. For example, there is another set of Diamond and Pearl, which I don't have, which are blue spines. And I'm on the hunt for that box set. It's probably one of the very few box sets I don't have. But yeah, so much Pokemon. I do like Pokemon. Weirdly, I don't play the Pokemon games too much, but I love Pokemon. I'm really interested in trying the new one, the Scarlet Violet, because I love open world games more than anything. I've gotten a copy of Scarlet and Violet for both my sister and partner for Christmas, so I'm just gonna mooch whoever finishes their copy first. As we have Pompo the Cinephile 1 and 2, up to date. I believe it completes at 3 volumes from what I saw online, and volume 3 comes out next year. It is about movies. If you like movies, maybe give it a go. I found it really slow to get into at the beginning, and then it picked up towards the end. I did enjoy it a lot more. There is a lot of references to classic movies though, so beware. I was like constantly googling movies, because it turns out my classic knowledge is not as good as I thought it was. A Very Pretty Boy Detective Club Volume 1 got on World of Books for £5. And again, I think I heard something about High School Romance, reverse harem maybe? Unless I read it wrong. But I was like, I need to try this when I get some more maybe, because there's actually quite a few of these out. So we have Primitive Boyfriend 1 to 3, and I believe that is complete. I decided to swipe all 3 up at once when I saw them in Forbidden Planet. Why not? Let's give it a go. I haven't read it yet. Again, not had it in my collection too long, but I am looking forward to just some trash romance. As we have Prince Freya 1 to 7, I have read up to volume 3. I still, so far, have not been overly impressed. I haven't outright hated it, like potentially Himika has, but I am not particularly in love with it. I don't really like the main character, and so far I've not actually, what character do I like? I don't think any of them. Apparently it does improve and get better past volume 4, so I was so close, but I am up to date with releases, I believe, with volume 7, so I will eventually get around to giving it a go. I really need to stop leaving really big breaks between me filming, because like Took a short break because I had a really bad throat, and it's like a week later. Once again, my throat is a bit better. It's still not great, so if I don't sound the same, it's because I've got a cold, basically. But I really want to talk about the manga, hence why we are back. So, right, next shelf, we have Princess Jellyfish 1 to 9. That is complete. These are the, I think, Omnis. I have no idea if the singles ever actually got printed in English, thinking about it. So I got the box set for this a few years ago. I haven't read it, but I do actually want to try and read this in 2023. It's one of my goals. Got a little keychain. Same with, I think, the authors of the series, Tokyo Taruba Girls, but we've not gotten there yet. We'll get to that later. Nice rainbow spines. Next we have Prison School. Move the tinsel. 1 to 9, 11, 12, 13. So I am missing 10 and 14, and then I will be complete. I read the first couple. I feel like this is like the ecchi series a lot of people seem to get into ecchi through. Basically, some guys end up at an all-girls school and they want to see some naked girls, and they kind of do whatever they can to try and see said naked girls. That's about it so far. I assume more happens considering it's 14 omnis long. There's quite a lot of these I got secondhand, apart from, I think, volume 3, which is plastic wrapped, but the rest of them I pretty much got secondhand, sometimes for as low as like £6-7 a volume, which is wild considering they're both omnibus and yen press. Rainbow! Okay, next we have The Promised Neverland 1 to 5 and 6 to 20. So this is a series complete. This is again another series. I kind of associate it with like Demon Slayer because I started picking it up around the same time and they finished about the same time. I actually think I read the final volume of Demon Slayer and Promised Neverland back to back on the same day. That was how close together they came out. Definitely enjoyed it. I think that volume 1 is one of the few volumes that I've ever read where I completely was not expecting what happened by the end of it, and I really enjoyed how it continued on. Considering I've said that predominantly I prefer quite like a rounded cutesy art style, Promised Neverland is actually one of the few art styles I do enjoy that doesn't fall under that, I think. Basically, I'm not an anime watcher, but I feel like Promised Neverland's one of those few series that even I know about the problems with the anime, so like they skipped one of the best arcs and they got rid of some characters which are like essential to the plot. I don't understand. And there was a PowerPoint situation, I don't know. I understand it's not great. Series 1 was fine, Series 2 wasn't. Read the manga is, I think, what basically everyone says. And then we have Beyond Promised Neverland, which is kind of a collection of stories by the artist of Promised Neverland, and there is like some epilogue chapters in here for it, plus some other short stories, I believe. I haven't read it again, didn't get it that long before I started filming, but it was in my basket. I have a very big basket. Next we have a whole selection of Puella Magi. Let's try and figure out what we've got. Puella Magi, Madoka Magica 1 and 2, Puella Magi, Madoka Magica, The Different Story 1, Magica Record, Puella Magi, Madoka Magica, Side Story 3, Puella Magi, Kazumi Magica, The Innocent Malice 1, 3, 4, 5, Puella Magi, Oriko Magica 1, Puella Magica, Side Story, I think that's a one-shot, Puella Magi, Oriko Magica, Sadness Prayer 3 and 4, Puella Magi, Suzume Magica 1, Puella Magi, Tarte Magica, The Legend of Jean Arc 3, 4, 5. Oh my god. Okay, so yeah, I have the most random splattering of volume. There's a lot of series for Puella Magi, apparently. I didn't realise until I started picking them up. All pretty much secondhand, if not bought half price in Forbidden Planet. I think some of these were. So some of these were £3.50, now they're getting stuck on their stickers. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, a chunk of these were secondhand or discounted, so like half price. I hear so much about the series. I really like collecting series that have lots of different parts and side stories to it. So like this and what's the other one? Sword Art Online, Magical Index. It's actually, I've just been really enjoying this, especially because there's like so many different ones. Like trying to figure out which ones I don't have has been quite fun. But it has meant I haven't actually started reading it yet. But like, yeah, most of them I think cheaper than £4 is how I've picked them up. As we have QQ Sweeper 1 to 3 and Queen's Quality 1 to 13 and 1415, which is mostly up to date, I think. So Kiku Sweeper it's technically the prequel to Queen's Quality. It's 3 volumes. It is basically the same story. The manga artist swapped magazines at this point, and she rebranded. I don't know why she rebranded, but she decided to rebrand. But it is basically the same series, so you do need to read this because this is set up, and it just basically continues on. I have read up to Volume 4, I think, of Queen's Quality, or Volume 3 of Queen's Quality. I must say, I was a bit disappointed. Not to say that the series is bad. I actually think the series is fine, and I did enjoy reading it. But I went into Queen's Quality, QQ Sweeper, expecting it to be a series I think I just expected it to be quite a lot different to more typical shoujo series, and I think I take that to mean less romance, which I know, equivalating shoujo with romance, you shouldn't do that, because that's not what it means. I've been getting really into reading and learning about demographics this past year, and I found it really interesting just how strange sometimes some of them are, because you do often think demographic equates a type of series or type of story, but not necessarily. And I think I was trying to read more shoujo series that didn't fit the typical mold, that was the word. And I saw a lot of people say how this series is one that's definitely not like the others, but I think predominantly it is a romance series, and even the manga artist in, I think, one of the volumes, it's like, yeah, this is a romance with some extra bits. And it is. And that's not a bad thing. I think what ruined it is I had expectations and it didn't meet them, which again has ruined some series for me, which is why I like going into series blind. If I got into this knowing nothing, I absolutely think I'd have enjoyed it more than I did, which is me problem. I would recommend it. It is good, it is enjoyable, it does have some nice action moments which I'm enjoying. I wonder if it'll get more away from the round. I'm hoping it gets more gritty and gets more dark and serious. That's my hope. I also really like the rainbow. I like the colour text on the white spines a lot. Apart from 10. What were they thinking? You can't read it. As we have quintessential quintuplets, 1 to 14. This is complete. Can we appreciate the rainbow text on this spine? The basic premise is a guy is hired to tutor 5 quintuplets. Yeah, 5 quintuplets, and they basically all catch feelings for him in the end, and he's trying to, it's not even a harem, because he does end up picking one, because in the very first chapter it's revealed that he is marrying one of them, and it's like, who is he marrying? And I did enjoy that. I enjoyed that there was someone he chose. It wasn't just, choose all of them. Whether or not he chose the one that I liked best, that's spoilers. I did actually quite enjoy this one though. This is a shonen, I think. Also, what wonderful colours. I also just like the word quintessential. Next we have Radiant. So we've got 1 to 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So yeah, just missing volume 9. And then I'll be up to date-ish, unless 16's coming out. This is a French manga, or sometimes called manfra, depending. I've only really seen Viz use that term. So I've only read the first couple so far. It's given me Eden Zero vibes, but I don't know if that's just because the main guy kind of looks a bit like, I was going to say Natsu. Wrong series. I've completely gone blank on the Eden Zero's name. It's a shonen battle series so far. I did enjoy it. I've pretty much just not continued reading because I had loads of gaps again for this year. I filled a lot of gaps this year, especially in the past couple of months, and Radiant was one of them. Oh my gosh, look at the staircase that is these spines. This isn't usually that bad. Cadentia's the worst. As we have Ragnarok Crimson 1 to 6, and I was going to say up to date, but I think 7 might be out. Don't know anything about it. Grabbed a whole bunch at once. It's meant to be very, very dark. I think it's like a dark fantasy, so I just need to start reading that. but they are getting more expensive. I think that's actually might be why I didn't pick up Volume 7. Next we have Rainbow and Black Volume 2. This is the only volume I have. I think it's only 3 volumes long. I picked this up for $3.99, but I will get to it. It had rainbow in it, that's why I grabbed it. Ralgrad 1 to 3. So I am behind. There is a volume 4. I don't really see it. I would love to try and pick it up, just because I'd like to complete this series. So this is based on a video game called Blue Dragon, which I absolutely adore. It's one of my favourite video games ever. It is a JRPG, and all the character design is done by Dragon Ball guy. Absolutely love the game. Part of my childhood. It took me ages to play. It was my first JRPG, basically. I loved it. This is based on it. This isn't too great, I'll be honest. He is really creepy and pervy. He's kind of been locked away because he's got a shadow, powerful shadow, and he's locked away to keep it contained. And he's finally emerged. He becomes obsessed with women and breasts, basically. And it's like, you need to go save the kingdom. And he doesn't do anything. And then they're like, if you don't save the kingdom, all the breasts are going to go away. And he's like, well, I better go save the kingdom then, bettern't I? And I've only read 1 or 2 of the volumes. I was going to hold off to see if I could find volume 4, but it's really, really hard to find. It's most likely out of print. It's not very good. But I wanted to complete it just for the nostalgia of the game more than anything. Next, we have Rama Wolf and Curry Tiger Volume 1. I haven't read it yet. I assume it's to do with food. I grabbed it in London a bit ago. Ran and the Grey World 1 to 3 and 4 to 6. So I am behind on this series. There is a 7th volume. Oh, that was a strange noise. There is a 7th volume which I'm missing. It's a bit chunkier, so a bit more pricey. So I've just not gotten to it yet. It's about a girl. You know what? The art style is gorgeous. Where's volume 1? The art style for this is absolutely gorgeous. It's about a girl who, when she puts on these magic shoes, she ends up in like an adult's body. I think the art style is very lovely. I have only read volume 1 or maybe volume 2. Not particularly any reason that I didn't get further, except I don't think I had later volumes when I read volumes 1 and 2. But I'd like to get 7 and then I'll read them all together. I think it's generally accepted as a really good series, just apparently there's some issues where when she ages up, she enters a relationship with an adult, which is dubious because she's a child, but does he know? I don't know. I'll have to read more to find out. As we have Raw Hero Volume 1, it's the only volume I have. I believe it's only a 6-volume series. It is the same manga artist as Prison School. I think it's Prison School. I didn't really understand what was happening. In Volume 1, this guy was like trying to just earn some money, and he ended up accidentally having to dress as a woman on this like heist thing, and it went really well. And that was about the premise, unless I've missed something. It was actually quite a compelling read though, but I don't feel I can recommend it yet. I don't think I've read enough. I also won't not recommend it because I haven't read enough. As we have Run a Half, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 17, 18, 21, 22. So I have started picking these up, definitely not just because of the nice colourful spines. I have got a lot of these quite cheap actually. Some of them like £4 each, and then some of them, because they're a bit of an older print, they're still $9.99, so 3 for 2 is about £6.60, 66. So I've started picking up more. I have got some more that I've ordered second hand actually. Obviously I've not started reading it. I don't have 1, 2. I think there's like 16 of these Omnis. Is there 32 volumes or 38 volumes? At which point there'd be 19. I don't know. There's quite a lot of these. I am very behind. Next we have Rave Master. We've got 1, 2, I think that's 6 and 9. Yeah, I've picked some up second hand and then I saw how much other ones were. I didn't realise it was horrendously hard to find until I'd already started picking a few up. I probably won't try and pick up more unless I find a full set for a good deal, maybe, or hope for a reprint at this point. Probably my better option, which is a shame because I really like Fairy Tail, I like Caketinz 0. I would love to be able to read more. You can already hear my voice going. As we have Monster 1 to 5, this is kind of similar to like that time I got reincarnated as a slime, but the guy has been reincarnated as an ogre, but he is able to absorb abilities of creatures and stuff that he's defeated. This series does, however, get a bit weird. Spoiler alert for around volume 4, 5, was it 3, 4, 5? Around here, he basically builds the biggest harem ever, and everyone's sleeping with him, and then everyone gets pregnant, and it's actually a good isekai. He really gets like major OP, and it's really fun seeing all that. Volume 6 was meant to come out in 2021, and it's now been pushed to October 2023, so we got a long while for that volume. Maybe don't rush to read this one. Next we have some ReZero. Just move this. So ReZero is a bit strange, where it is a continuous story, but the volumes are broken up into chapters, which is why we've got a lot of repeating numbers on the spines, but there are multiple chapters hence. So chapter 1 is 1 and 2 volumes, chapter 2 is 1 to 5, chapter 3 is 1 to 11, so I am missing volumes on that. I am missing volumes 9 and 11 on that, and then chapter 4 I believe is on like 5 volumes, but I am missing quite a few from that one. And then there is a prequel series called The Frozen Bond, which is 3 volumes, or 2 volumes, and I only have volume 2 of that. So I got a whole bunch of this for my birthday a few years ago, because that was about when I started to really get into isekai, and my partner was like, have you tried ReZero? What are you doing? Don't chew that. You don't fit on the shelf as well anymore, do you? You've been growing during this collection tour. No, I'm on this shelf. I got really into it, I was really enjoying it, and then just around volume 7, 8 of part 3, I did start to struggle to find more volumes, and I sort of stopped reading it. And I've still not managed to find more volumes for a good price. My partner has been since started reading it, so now he's also actively on the hunt for more. 2 of us together, maybe we'll find them and get back up to date. I do enjoy ReZero, but it's definitely one of the, I'd say a bit more darker isekai. There isn't really any light moments to it. Next we have Reborn as a Polar Bear, The Legend of How I Became a Forest Guardian 1 to 3. I have read volume 1, and I think I got 2 half price and 3 also half price. This isn't a very good isekai. Guy is reborn, as it says, as a polar bear, and he ends up looking after all these beast girls. And there are some very strange moments about the very young childlike beast girls saying, can he look after them? And stuff like that. You're like, ew. But it's fun reading about a big OP polar bear just running around hitting things. Another cat? Can you not chew the lights, please? Next we have Record of Ragnarok 1 to 4, and that is up to date. I really like Record of Ragnarok. I love how it is just people wailing on each other. OP gods fighting OP humans. I just really like it. It's fun. It's not particularly serious, but it's like it's kind of serious, but it's also really not. I do always enjoy when those volumes come out. Also, the artwork is really good. Record of Grancrest War 1, 2, and 7. So this is a 7-volume series, so I'm behind. It's not particularly easy to pick up, but I don't think it's that popular either. Most of these I got for $3.99-ish. I haven't started reading it yet though. I think my partner knows of it and said he was interested too, so maybe he'll help me find volumes. Reborn as a Space Mercenary, I Woke Up Piloting the Strongest Starship 1 and 3. Now, volume 2 I've just not seen in store, which is very annoying. I think I'm gonna get it for Christmas. I think my partner found a copy. But I don't think there's that many isekai set in space, and this is one of them. My partner's reading light novels, he really loves it, so was really keen to try and get me more volumes of it. I found it okay so far, but volume 1 didn't. I don't think a huge amount happened in volume 1. Reincarnated as a Dragon Hatchling 1 to 3, and I think that's up to date. This reminds me a bunch of like Soma Spider So What in terms of like isekai mechanics and like evolving when they've gotten enough XP. I don't think it's as good as Soma Spider So What, but it's nice to find a similar-ish isekai to enjoy, and instead of a spider they're a dragon. Yeah, it's not as good, but it's fine. Reborn as a Barrier Master 1 and 2. I don't think I've read volume 2. I barely remember volume 1. That's how average an isekai it is. I think it's just OP, and this woman was his teacher. Reign of the Seven Spellblades 1 and 3. These are really like well-made volumes. Similar to that Great Pretender one. This is just like very sturdy and hard. Oh dear. I really enjoyed this volume, but I have struggled to find a volume 2, so I only have volume 3 for now. It's a bunch of students who've gone to school, and it's like a fantasy school. I don't think too much again has happened. There's been some fighting, some training in school and stuff. The art isn't too bad. It's quite fun. I don't think many volumes are out now. I think there's only like 6 maybe? Reincarnated as a sword 1 to 3, and reincarnated as a sword Another Wish 1. So, as it says, it is about a guy who is reincarnated as a sword, and he kind of meets up with this slave beast cat girl who takes him on. He's very OP and is like trying to teach her how to do things and help her live a better life. And yeah, they go around doing adventurer things. I am quite behind. I think there's like 8 or 9 of these out now. They just keep coming out quicker than I can read them, and I've just not rushed to try and catch up. I would like to. As another goal for me in terms of collecting in 2023 is catch up with all of my Isekai, because like Overlord I'm behind, Reincarnated as a Sword I'm behind, Tanya the Evil I'm behind. I just want to catch up. And then this is a spin-off. I haven't read it yet because I'm nervous about how far into the main series I need to read before I can read that. Remarried Empress Volume 1 by Press, and this is up to date. This is quite a recent release. Really enjoyed this one. I'm enjoying all of the series that Press have been putting out so far. Basically, an empress and her emperor has gained a mistress, but has decided to actually marry the mistress. It's about her, just about the empress navigate. Oh my gosh! About this empress navigating. Oh my god, tail, but. Your tail is so fluffy, but not helpful. It's about this empress trying to navigate being scorned socially, but also holding her own. It's actually quite a compelling read. Cat! Okay, and then we have Rent a Girlfriend 1 to 10 and 11 to 14. Now, can you hear her purring? Now, I would say I'm up to date, but I actually do think 15 has come out, but they seem to release a volume like every month. They're coming out so quick, though there is like 28 volumes or something crazy in Japan. I can't believe it. I don't think the story is very good. Literally nothing happens. I'm reading it because I enjoy the artwork. I enjoy the outfits and the clothes that the girls wear, and also I like to see conclusions in stories, even if it takes me an insane amount of time. I just like to read like that. There is basically only one character I like in the series, and that is the main character in Rent a Really Shy Girlfriend, which is it Sumi? Is that her name? It's just like a spin-off story for one of the rental girlfriends, Sumi, and she's really shy and awkward, and it definitely gives me like Komi vibes, where she's just trying to improve her social skills. I pretty much don't like any chapter where the guy is in it. I just try and rush through those and get back to the independent chapters where she's on her own. I think volume 3 of this is out and I'm getting it for Christmas. Oh my god, I can't. What are you doing? Next we have Requiem of the Rose King, and I am missing a few volumes of this, unfortunately, including volume 3 and 5, so I've not read much into the series yet. We have 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 13, 14, 15, and I do know 16 is out because I saw it the last time I went shopping. I just couldn't make a 3 for 2 with it. Really intrigued to try and read more of this. I have only read volume 1, and then it took me ages to find a volume 2, and I was like, I'll wait till I find volume 3, and I've still not found volume 3. I'm hoping for reprints. I do think there's reprints. So I'm missing 3, 5, 10, 12. So I'm missing 4 volumes, 5 if you include 16. I think it's complete at like 17 volumes, but that's just not out in the UK yet. So this is set during the War of the Roses, which does interest me because I live in Yorkshire, which is one half of the War of the Roses. Specifically the part with this guy, which I think is Richard, because Richard of York, Yorkshire. I hear the second half gets really, really, really good. I know Himika loves it, and I really just want to read it. I just need to find the reprints. As we have Restaurant to Another World 1-4, kind of an isekai, also complete 4 volumes. The manga is, at least. I'm not sure if the light novel's ongoing. There is also an anime. Basically, a door appears randomly in different worlds, and it leads to a restaurant, and it's a Tokyo-based restaurant, and this guy feeds food to all these like strange creatures on all these different worlds, and everyone loves it. And again, every chapter is like a different situation. It is actually quite similar to Otherworldly Isekai. Now thinking about it, I think I prefer Otherworldly Isekai. I think that one's better. than Restaurant to Another World. Very similar premise otherwise, if you want to find another one like each other. Next we have Raijo Wave Volume, well, it's a one-shot. I believe this is one that's based on an anime movie. I didn't think the manga was that great. I don't think it translated that well into a manga. I assume the movie will be a lot better. This was just quite rushed, and Cat, it's very sweet that you want cuddles. No one needs to see your butt. Yeah, I just don't think it translated well into manga. Everything was kind of just like rushing along. I'm so sorry, the cat keeps headbutting me. The story just kept rushing along, and I just don't think... Oh my god. I don't think I ended up feeling attached to any of the characters, which you obviously were meant to. You're meant to feel sadness. But I just didn't. I didn't feel that. So I'd probably say give the manga a miss. Unless maybe you're a big fan of the movie and you also want to get the manga, maybe. Next we have the Rising of Shield Hero 1-18. That is up to date, though 19 again is out soon. I really like the Rising of Shield Hero. This is actually one of the few isekai where I have watched some of the anime because my partner put some of it on and I was in the room. And I found it really interesting to see some of the changes they made to the story between the manga and the anime, especially in regards to the main character, like Naofumi. He's definitely painted to be a lot nicer and kinder in the anime than he is in the manga. My understanding is he's even worse in the light novel, so it's just like every level they keep scaling him back a little. I very much enjoyed volume 8-9, where we kind of got a conclusion to the main first arc, and then it's kind of continued on. I enjoyed the next arc. The bit with the turtle, which I think is the latest series of the anime, I wasn't that keen on. I'm vaguely enjoying the next arc, but I want some more volumes to see what I think. I really am annoyed reading this because often every volume will end with a cliffhanger. It just grinds me. Ah! And then we have the reprise of Spear Hero 1, 2, 3 and 5. So I'm behind on that one. I think there's 6 or 7 of that out. And this is a spin-off series focusing on the Spear Hero, where he's kind of been sent back in time to when all the heroes are first reincarnated, and he's trying to find, I've forgotten her name, the bird girl, because he seems smitten with her, and obviously at the very beginning Naofumi hasn't got her egg, whatever it was, so he's bit weird. He's a lot of lolly stuff in that one because all the bird characters seem to be like children.